Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Newage Legendary Heroes number 48 Prime Sif, which is, in Hasbro and Takara terminology, it is Solus Prime, and she is a usage of the original RC mold. So for this video we're going to have a detailed look at her in both of her modes. We're going to have a look how she displays with her accessories. We'll do a couple of comparisons with some other third-party companies, as well as some Hasbro ones as well, again, so you can see where they've got the idea of the mold, I suppose, from. So for those of you who are unaware, Newage is a third-party company that isn't licensed by Hasbro or Takara, so they can't use the correct names. So that's why she's called Prime Sif. This is the packaging. Obviously there's some product images, alternate mode and robot mode there, and once again a larger one on the back. She would come packaged like this inside this plastic clamshell, which we can, of course, well, it's plastic casing rather than a camshell, isn't it, where we can take her out of the packaging like so. Beautiful little figure by this looks really nice, to be honest. And there we've got the accessories and fists in there by the looks of it. So let me just quickly move this out of the way. So as I said, this is using the RC mold. Because again, exactly the same as all the other companies, once they get one mold they would just keep using it and using it. So this mold's been used for RC, Pocahontas, which is the Paradon Medic, etc. But I really love the purple color scheme on this particular video. It's quite striking, to be honest. Now, one of the other sort of downsides which you always tend to get with third-party companies is the instructions. So for the transformation process I've uploaded a separate video, because as well it's really long. It's quite intuitive and it just takes, as I say, it takes way too long, so I want to keep the main length of the video down. The other problem you've got is with the instructions, which you'll see here, you only get the original owner of the mold, which, as you can see, that is RC, which you're thinking at the moment that's not too bad, and you can hardly make out them instructions anyway. But because she's a slight difference in a mold retool, you've got this extra bit under here, you've got these shoulder panels there, and they just, again, not accounted for in the instructions, which is really annoying, to be honest. But let's have a look at the alternate mode though. So we've got some lovely translucent yellow plastic there for the window. The back of the feet are the seats by the looks of it there. Everything, as you can see, is tucked underneath, which is giving it, I think that's where her fists are going to go. I'm pretty sure you can, if you want, put the fists on as well, but for obvious reasons, if you're going to be displaying in alternate mode, you're going to see the fists underneath there. The wheels themselves do all spin around, but they're hindered by this huge flap of plastic which comes down there, which I don't believe happens on the other molds. There's such a lovely bit of detail though. That's actual silver reflecting, and again, you can obviously tell that this is basically based on the RC mold from the Kingdom toy line, to be honest, but it's much bigger. So because it's a third-party Legend scale, if I sort of give you an idea of how small it is, there's an Earthrise Micromaster figure, which is nearly as big as it. So that's a Micromaster figure. This is a deluxe figure, so you can see the difference. I know that's quite a big deluxe figure. So if I get, let's have a quick look. I've got a Generation 1 Boss figure, which again is still massive compared to this, and I've got the new JP figure. In fact, funnily enough, I've still got the Prowl from Legacy. You're getting an idea of just how small this figure is. As I said, you could attach the fists to it if you wanted to, but you would just see them. There's not really much more to say about the alternate mode. These figures are all about the robot mode, and the scaling all works for the robot mode as well. So we're going to come back right now and have a look at her in her robot mode. Okay, then we're back, and as you can see, she's in her robot mode, and I haven't attached a fist yet, but she's looking spectacular. Once again, this color scheme is just really working for her. I think it looks very good, and it's also very, I suppose, brave and daring of Newage to make an actual figure of her, because, as I said, Hasbro's and Takara's attempt at making a figure of her is literally these two little figures that came with the Power of the Primes figures. She hasn't even really got a standalone figure herself, so it's, again, very brave. And I like the fact that sometimes, you know, third-party companies do that. So it's okay them using a mold over and over again, but it's nice that they've actually got a new character as well. So I've opened up the bag. The fists are absolutely tiny, which you can see. So we've got some closed fists and we've got some open hands as well. So there's a couple of different ways that we can, of course, display this particular figure. We're going to have a look at that in a second. I want to show you first and foremost though the articulation. So the head, the detail is lovely. Let's get that in focus. You can see that there. This is on like a mushroom peg, so it looks up and down. She can turn all the way around. She's not even really impeded. She's got black hair, so it looks like coming across the back. It will go all the way around and it will look up and down. You've got these little things coming over the shoulder. The shoulders as well are on ball and sockets, so they'll go only out that far, but they will come all the way up. The backpack again does impede a bit of this, which is a bit of a shame. There is a waist swivel, there's an ab crunch as well, there's the hips which will go right out to the side. You can see they're on ball and socket joints. They'll kick all the way up as well. There's a knee bend, there's an ankle tilt and rock. These are highly articulate little figures, and that is why they are dubbed mini masterpiece figures. So if we take hold of the little fists, we can attach these in here. I didn't of course show you that there is obvious bicep flexion as well, and of course there's going to be wrist rotation, because once I pop this in you can spin it around. So let's do the same with this particular side. And as I said, the only massive downside is the instructions hasn't got anything to do with this here or these shoulder bits, so it's just really frustrating. For that reason, that's why I've not done the transformation process on this video. It is uploaded in a separate video, so it's like a tutorial as well, so I hope it helps you out as well at the same time, as if you want to have a watch of it just to see, I suppose, how crazy it is. Right, let's have a look at this, and I'm trying to work out that's how you're going to do it, how we're going to get this into her hand. So this will slide down, and then of course we can just close that off. Stunning, to be honest. As I say, these are one of my favorite sort of third-party company figures. The transformation process, as I've mentioned, they're not too bad. Magic Squares are way worse and what I mean by worse is they just take too long and they're quite annoying. Apart from this guy, that's Magic Squares Trailbreaker. This is Newage's Optimus Prime, so you can see that these are going to scale really well together with that. Let's carry on with a few more third-party companies. So that's Iron Factory, which is in his own different scale completely. And then I've got, no, I said that's Iron Factory, it's not, it's Dr. Wu. This is Iron Factory, and I suppose them 3, 4 scale pretty well together. I've also got, funnily enough, a Lucky Cat movie Bumblebee, but that's more like a Dr. Wu sort of size figure. If you only collect, I suppose, mainstream figures and none of this is making any sort of sense to you, here is a core class Optimus Prime. Here is a deluxe class Strong Arm, and just because he's there, there's your Voyager class Bludgeon. So you can see just how much bigger they really are. But I suppose one of the most important things that you want to see is the deluxe class Earthrise RC, which you can see where the huge homage, as daft as it sounds, probably homage is the wrong word to be honest, where they've got the main ideas from. It's just a severely shrunk down, in honesty, much better backpack than obviously the Earthrise one. But of course they've had a couple of years to correct or make this particular mold that little bit better. The figure itself though, as I say, is stunning. I'm definitely going to be keeping her in the robot mode because that's how I feel that she looks way better. The alternate mode is okay, it just doesn't really scale, and because of all these additional plastic bits that we've got, it just doesn't, it doesn't look as good as what this does. As you say, the purple and the yellow, everything on here just pops, to be honest. I think it makes it look really good. I'm going to perhaps change this fist for a open hand one because it just looks that little bit smaller, little bit more in proportion. I felt that then I was looking at it, just looked a little bit too big and it just didn't make her look right. But to be honest, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to say about this. In fact, really nice little figure. So there you go. Let me know what you think of her in the comments. This is Newage's number 48 Prime Sif, which is a take on Solus Prime. Is that right? It looks, that's better. It's folded back in. Let me know what you think of her in the comments, guys. Take care.